So in case of motorcycle crash, you will not get a pillar getting on your feet from above. The impact will be like this, right? So
You need abrasion resistance.
actually, you might end up actually damaging your feet from the steel toe. Hello and welcome back to today's episode of the Motorcar Show. And today we are going to cover the topic of.
Beginner's Guide to Motorcycle Gears.
So in this podcast, we will discuss about the importance and how you can select the ideal motorcycle riding gears based on your budget and various other factors. So stay tuned, and we will be covering each and every topic in today's episode. So, Rahul, what was the first thing you bought when you got your motorcycle?
So the first thing that I actually got was a helmet. That's the basic thing you get
Actually,
when you get a bike. And I tried to extend my budget as much as I could when buying it. So at that point, I got a Axer Street. So that was my first helmet. I was very attached to it, and I actually went far to extend my budget as much as I could to get it because uh, I was not very keen into buying low range helmets because
that's a very good approach.
yeah. So since my bike costs more than a lakh, so I can spend more than
Sure.
5,000 to get it.
That's
It
a
will
good,
save me.
very good mentality. And yeah, we are talking about helmets now. That is the first point of today's podcast. So talking about helmets, there are various factors and various types of helmets that are available, irrespective of the budget. First, we'll just talk about the types. We have, I think, all full face helmets here in display today because most of our friends they all wear full face helmets. I haven't seen anybody, not even Pixmax wearing a half face helmet. So that's how importance. We know the importance of this full face
You
helmet.
ride a cafe racer when you use a full
Exactly.
face.
I was actually thinking of getting a retro full face, but again, I thought from safety point of view, it might
Doesn't
not.
make sense.
But maybe for a photo shoot or two, we can get that kind of a helmet. So yeah, we were talking about the types of helmet. Now, what is your riding? I think you're also street rider. Mostly you ride on the streets. We don't do that much of off-roading, right?
Off-roading, yes.
So I think for our bikes, even a cafe racer or whatever sports bike, I think a full face, maybe a touring or a sports touring helmet is very good. We are not into enduring or enduro or
Exactly.
any kind of helmets.
So, like getting onto this, so the first helmet I got that was a Axo Street, as I said. So that was mostly for
It's a
streets.
very decent,
It's
I
a
have seen
decent
that
series.
ride it.
Yeah, it's good for the streets. And the second one, when I did start touring, I got a Axor Apex.
Yeah.
So that's more customized and retrofitted
Yes.
towards touring, and it has the visors. It's more pointed out and everything. So yeah, it also has the sun visors and
Yeah.
things like that.
So yeah, there are different kinds of helmets, like we said, full face, there are modulars, there are enduro helmets, there will be half face, and there will be, the list will go on. So the basic would be to always get a full face helmet. Even if you have a scooter or anything, try to get a full face helmet. That should have a decent, maybe like a ECE rating. And obviously now it's mandatory to get an ISI certified, and all the manufacturers are trying to, push this certification. So yeah, certification. Let's talk about certifications now, because if we talk about categories of helmets, there will be like many different kinds
Many
of brands
different.
coming in. So types of helmets, I mean. So yeah, safety rating is kind of important, but I think uh, you should also check the build quality of the helmet, because we never know how valid these the dot certifieds are. Because I've based on a research, I've got to know that the dot is not that superior
Superior.
if you compare it with the ECE 22.05. Now the ECE 22.06 is also available,
It's also
and I've seen Steelbird getting many ECE 22.06 certifications as well. So yeah, there will be, like, it can be a very vast topic, but let's keep it simple. If you get like you got the Axor Street,
street.
and now the Apex series.
Yeah.
So I think Apex is ISI, DOT, and EC, all
All
certified,
certified.
right?
Yes.
So yeah, so that's the basics. Try to get something which has multiple certifications, but if you are keen on getting the best certifications, try to buy a helmet which has a sharp rating also.
I'll add something to it. So, recently, what happened was my personal take on this is try to stay away from new brands. Recently, Motozuma posted a reel about, I won't name the company, but they were actually shipping the boxes saying that it was a ECE certified thing.
Correct.
But when he actually pulled it off, and it was written that it was ASI, okay, and
So that's a very big gimmick.
that's a very good gimmick. So he later approached the company saying that what is this, what is that. They said that it's a just a there was some misunderstanding and
Correct.
they accidentally shipped it saying that. So try to do some background checks on it.
Correct.
And maybe stick to helmets that have some certain reputation. That's my personal take on it. I'm not saying that is a bad helmet
Correct.
or anything of that sort.
So for safety ratings and all, for me, I think what I believe in is that if any helmet that is associated with a racing team, like in MotoGP or even in NASCAR or any other racing events, so it's a good idea to get something from
Of
that
that, yes.
because they have actually tried and tested. The brand has tried as a R&D team, and it has already tested in racing tracks. Yeah, maybe like now I don't have budget for RI or Shoei, but surely in future we can get it. So that's a rule of the thumb.
Also, be aware from copies because you will see at a lot of places people using AGV.
Oh my God, that's a very big topic. I have seen people using AGVs, replica AGVs on
And
ZX10R,
and they get it. It's not cheap. They get it for 20,000,
20,000, yeah.
They get those copies in that they get it from they source it from
Sole
Delhi or
Luna
somewhere.
and like something which costs 1 lakh or more.
Exactly, and it's not available. It's like that Accra copies.
Exactly.
People
And
setting it into empties.
I don't think it's a good idea. If you can buy a bike worth 20 lakh, why not spend a lakh also on helmets? I think you can.
Even if
50,000
you
or
are
1 lakh.
spending 25,000
Even
for a
20,000
copy,
actually.
get a RI.
Or even like you can get a good carbon fiber.
Exactly.
Like if I name a brand in like from India, it would be SMK.
SMK.
I think
They make
SMK is
different
not
ones.
Indian. SMK was actually from I think Europe.
Okay.
But I think they start. I'm not sure about the story, but again, they also have carbon fiber helmets in around 10,000.
It comes around 12,000.
12,000. So
It looks good too.
it looks good. It's a little bit heavier, but again, I think for the price, it's a very good deal.
Exactly.
So yeah. Next thing is after checking the safety ratings, the one thing which most people don't do is that they try that helmet and check if it's snug fit or not. What they do is that they think, okay, I have L size, I think XL will also fit, so I'll just buy XL. So it's not a good idea. Your helmet should be snug fit. Okay, it should not be too tight or too loose. It should be snug fit so that if you put at least two fingers inside, so there will not be any much room for it. It should be like it will not let more space for your fingers to go inside.
There's another thing you can use
Yeah.
to check when you are wearing the helmet. You shouldn't be able to move your lower jaw very easily.
Actually, when obviously when the D-ring or the strap is
Exactly.
correctly placed,
You shouldn't be able to move your lower jaw properly. There should be some abstraction. So that will also help you when you are crashing. You won't accidentally, it won't go up and you won't actually scratch your lower jaw.
so yeah, fitting is very important. Just try to wear the helmet and check if it's fitting properly. Then only buy it, because helmets have various kinds of shell sizes and shell shapes also. For example, the Hummer series will not fit perfectly on my skull because I have a very long face. So something like Axor Apex series or MT Revenge series, these kinds of series, they have like a very elongated like beak, something like that. So the shape is different. Shape is also important. So there will be some helmets there will be some helmets which are very flat in front that might not suit everyone. So yeah, always check, try to fit and see if it's working for you. If not, don't buy it. So yeah, after the helmet, let's come to the last point of the helmets, that is maintenance. It's very important to keep your helmet clean, and there is also a shelf life of a helmet, maybe like 3 to 4 years. That depends. But again, if you're keeping it for collection, then it's fine. You can just keep it in your storage. But it's a good idea to keep your helmet clean wash your paddings, replace them also. So, what is your like? What do you do with your helmets? Maybe like once a
So
while.
after always I return from a ride, what I do is I take out the paddings, I clean them properly, I take a proper soap solution, I wipe everything off it, I clean the visors with a microfiber cloth, I clean the sun visor, I remove, as I said, remove all the paddings. I check for internal damage inside the padding. For those that you don't know, it's visible if there's a white crack or something of
Yeah,
that sort inside the helmet. That means your helmet has reached its shelf life.
actually.
So I check for those things because that's there. I check for part damages. That's also an important factor. The company you are getting, which is also a reason you should stay
Actually.
away from new companies. Get a helmet that has its parts replaceable.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Even with my MT series and Axis also, I have faced it that I have like hard time finding small parts like spare, paddings. So I think, yeah, maybe if I have got SNK or Axor, I didn't like Axor because of the wind noise. But again, it's a different shape. It also depends on the skull shape and all. But yeah, parts availability is there. So that's all about maintenance. Another thing I would give you a very short tip is that if you have in the visor space, you can put a WD-40.
yeah.
So that will actually help you, keep the mechanism intact for a very long time. So let's talk about the next riding gear, that is jackets and pants. This one is a mesh one, I think we have.
AirTex, I think we call
Yeah.
it. We call
And
it AirTex
there will
mesh.
be some leather ones.
Leather
There will
ones.
be other abrasive free materials also that will help you, protect in case of crash. So the basics, the cheapest ones, not surely very cheap, but again, in a good budget would be something with a mesh.
Mesh. It's a do it all. You can wear
Yeah.
it on summers. You can
Actually,
use a thermal inside. Go on
so we are
winter
not
trips.
promoting any brands. This
Yeah.
jacket is just for example. So this is a beginners, like you can get a level 1 and level 2 also armors inside it. And I think level 1 would cost something like 5 6 5 thousand something.
6. It comes
But
for all brands,
right,
Olays, Rhinox,
there will be different
anything.
brands. We are not covering any brand. So that's the basic. Get a good fit jacket. It should not be too loose also. It should not be too tight. It should be good enough, fit enough. In case of crash, it should not move away from your, joints or anywhere. So they are very level 1 and level 2. I would suggest if you can extend the budget for 1000 or 2000 more and you can get a level 2. But in case if you already have level 1 armored jackets, you can purchase also. There are very good websites that have level 2 armors available for sale.
Exactly.
So you can, upgrade also. You don't have to buy a completely new jacket until unless you're gaining weight or something like that.
You don't hit the
So,
gym.
so that's the basic, get good armored riding pants and riding jackets. Another factor we should consider is our Indian climatic condition. So, we cannot recommend leather suits in summer in India. So that's a different thing. So the basic is getting a mesh jacket. We can literally use it all throughout the year.
Yeah, it's a do it all.
Correct.
You can
So for
add
our
on
Indian
things.
road conditions,
It's
mesh.
perfect. I won't say it's perfect. There are better things, but yeah, it's very dynamic. You
Yeah.
can add on things. You can get rid of things, and you can do multiple things with it.
So that is for, like if you're touring or for small breakfast rides. I think the mesh one
It
does
works.
it all, and it also has you can get a rain liner so that you don't get wet in rain, because our weather is kind of
It's
unpredictable.
unpredictable, very unpredictable.
And yeah, we are not talking about tracks or off-roadings because those jerseys and
Exosuits.
yeah, exosuits, they are completely different. We will invite few guests in future shows who will talk about like track suits and track related riding gears. That will be a very complex thing
That's
because it's a very expensive. It can cost more than our bikes also. So that's a very different category. But yeah, try to get a level 2 riding pant and level 2 riding jacket from a reputed brand, and I think you're good to go, right?
yeah. For beginners, you can
Yeah, for
always keep
beginners.
on upgrading,
Correct.
upgrading. There's no end to it.
Now, again, riding pants will also have the similar level 1, level 2
Level two.
certifications, and there are also different kinds of pants, right?
Yeah, so I'll share something. So, pants usually cost the most
Actually,
among all of the riding gears. So,
combined.
combined. So, you might get the pant of the same series of jacket you are using. It will cost you almost double of it.
Correct.
Okay. And it might be possible, like when I was initially buying my gears, so it was not possible for me to the get the pant at that moment.
Together.
So yeah, I bought the jacket and I got a knee guard from Korda Motors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a
Okay.
good, decent one.
Yeah, it just launched at that moment, and most probably it was a sub brand of Rhinox or Apex. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that. At least that is what the guy told me 4 years back. Okay, so yeah, that was there. So that is also something. If you are not able to, get the pants at that moment, at least get a proper knee guard. The first time I actually met him, I had an accident. I don't know, somehow all my stories contain an accident.
So yeah, I mean it
And
relates to safety gears in some
yeah,
way or the other.
and it actually saved my leg. It actually saved my leg.
So yeah, again,
Also there's
yeah.
another factor. Don't get the ones of maybe the China rip-offs, like something of
Seven,
Pro
800,
Rider
1000.
700. You wear it here, it says it's whatever you wear here you can wear here. It won't do
Correct.
jack shit.
Pro
It won't do
Rider,
anything.
the original Pro Rider one, we don't get here anymore.
We don't get that.
If you get that original one, it's very
It's
good
good.
actually. So again, yeah, riding pants. There will be a lot of kinds of like touring for something for like with sliders that will be sports related, like for sports bike and track. And there will be also like a single piece. That means the suit. So that's a totally different. That is for track related. Now, again, taking care of riding pants the same way you're taking care of your jackets and gloves. So now we've covered uh, jackets and riding pants. Next, we can talk about riding gloves, I think. So for street usages, so we have different kinds of riding gloves available right now, and the most commonly used is the full finger gloves, and there's another one half finger.
Half
I think
finger.
half finger we don't.
That's, I guess, mostly for cosmetic
Correct.
purposes.
So I don't recommend that. But again, in full finger gloves, there will be many categories like gauntlets. There will be some
The
full
city ones, normal
yeah,
ones.
and then there will be some mesh ones also.
Yeah.
We don't have it here, but the material would be similar to this. So I mean, your hands won't get that much sweaty. But again, the ones we use daily, it's from I think Rhinox Tornado.
I used the Rhinox Storm Evo 3
Yeah.
gloves, and later on that got stolen. I lost it, so now I use a tarmac ones. So it's same. They have the same quality. It's just not NOx certified.
No issue. At least it will save you
It will
from
save.
a crash. Maybe it will save your hand.
Exactly.
And something is better than nothing.
Nothing.
It's not a good idea don't not wearing a gloves until unless you're going for grocery shopping outside.
That's a different thing.
So yeah, that's the basics for gloves. I think maybe your budget you can extend till 2,000, 3,000. You will also get gloves worth 4, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, and it goes on. So the more you spend, the more it's not that something of 20,000 gloves will save your life better than a like a 3, 4,000. There will be some differences.
Obviously, the more you pay, the more sugar you get.
Actually. So yeah, something
It
for
will
the
be lighter. It will be more tactile.
exactly.
Like the Storm Evo one that I had, it actually had a carbon fiber lining inside of it.
Wow.
Okay. While the tarmac one, it doesn't have.
It doesn't
that.
have.
So
But again, both of them they do their
and
job pretty good.
by now, I guess it's pretty evident I crash a lot. Okay.
No
And
issue
all
with
of
that.
my gloves were like pretty tried and tested, and they were used rigorously.
At least it saved your life.
It has saved my hands. It has made me capable to log in the next day again.
Correct. So yeah, again with gloves also, like the full finger gloves will also come in leather. So you have to get correct materials to take care of them. And I think that's all we can talk about. We can talk about gloves all day. There will be a lot of brands, new brands coming in. But the ones I used was from Rhinox, and another one I would recommend that you're using is from Tarmac.
Tarmac.
Because I have Tarmac jackets, I have Tarmac pants, and I have Tarmac. I think boots also now.
Yeah.
I'm not promoting Tarmac. ठीक है. I'm not promoting tarmac or anything, but I'm just appreciating because it's worth the price.
They are doing a good thing at
Yeah.
a affordable price.
Actually.
It's good. It's good.
Only thing is that they're not marketing their product that
Exactly,
much.
and they don't have a lot of certifications yet. But in my experience, the quality is almost similar to Rhinox at a lot of levels.
But I inquired about the riding boots that I was getting from Tarmac, and they told me that it's not made in India. It's coming from Southeast Asia,
Okay.
and it was CE certified, and the armor was also I think level 1.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty good
It's
for
it's
12,000 bucks.
it's
But we'll talk about boots later on. So now let's talk about boots. Now there are various kinds of boots. For city usages, I think decent full shoes will it will do something. It will actually help you in a way, but it will not help you 100%. There are different kinds of boots, like over the ankle and short ankle, shorter styles. So the shorter styles is for like decent highway rides, you can do that. But again, it will not provide you the best protection. So if you have a full
your shin won't be much protected.
Correct.
After your riding pants, ends the protection, it doesn't cover your whole shin, right?
Correct.
And after that, if you are using a shorter style boot, amount is left exposed over there, which is not clearly protected. So
You're just, you're for you the comfort is more than protection. So
yeah,
if you need a boot which can protect you more, you have to sacrifice a little bit of comfort. But again, you can get used to it. The one I'm using a over the ankle boots, and it's a very good, decent amount. It will help you and save you from crash also.
Plus, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks very good. So I would recommend if you can extend the budget. And now we were talking about boots, so we'll talk about some boots which you should avoid. And
Yes.
yes, we will not name any brands, but again, uh, maybe some steel toe boots we should avoid.
Some specific brands with which they are marketing safety boots as
Actually, safety boots,
motorcycling
if
boots.
you ask anybody who's in construction, who's in aviation, uh, who's an engineer or anything, they know what they wear. I mean,
Exactly.
that was I used to wear that years back, but again, it's marketed as a riding boot, but
And
it
they
can
don't
never be.
even have the proper certifications of a riding boot. The
Actually.
certification is of a safety boot.
Right.
There's a metal capping over it. So, and even leaving that factor behind, if you leave that particular brand's shoes,
There will be other brands also that have the same.
if you leave that even untouched, the sole comes off.
Correct.
Within 6 to 7 months. So if you are spending almost 7,000 rupees behind a particular shoe, you won't want it to get rid of it, right?
See, safety shoes, the only purpose of safety shoes is to save your feet from something falling vertically.
Yes.
From the top. So, in case of motorcycle crash, you will not get a pillar getting on your feet from above. The impact will be like this, right? So,
You need abrasion resistance.
actually, you might end up actually damaging your feet from the steel toe.
Exactly.
It might cut off in
It
two
might
pieces.
cut off.
And obviously,
It might dent in and smash your feet in.
but yeah, safety boots will provide a little bit of protection.
It's better than nothing. We are
Actually,
not
yeah.
totally getting rid
And
of it.
if you're okay with safety boots, you can get something for 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 also. That will do a similar amount of job.
I'll
Sure.
share a experience. So I had a Nike Air Jordan which lasted more while motorcycling than that particular safety boot. Its sole came off.
Okay. Now I've seen those cases also.
Exactly.
That the sole is coming off, and the reason the company has given is that you have to use that safety boot. I mean that riding boot occasionally. I mean, come on, it looks
If we are supposed to use it occasionally, why will I buy that?
exactly.
I'll spend that after Air Jordan 4. Get
The
Air
only
Jordan
thing
4.
happened is that they tried to market unsold safety boots into the riding community, and that has happened actually.
And they have actually gained a lot of traction.
Yes.
It's very common right now.
That's the most
Even
commonly.
I bought it. I bought it for the first time. My first boots were of that particular brand.
That's the most recommended so-called riding boots
Exactly.
At least in Kolkata as of now. I
And
know.
there's soft driving to the accessory
Yeah.
stores and everyone. You go there, they'll just try to
Yeah,
push you into it.
Orazo this, Orazo that.
Yeah.
And I've seen people using Orazo on bikes worth 10 to 12, 15
Doesn't
lakhs.
make sense.
The one I got, that was for 12,000. And I was wearing it on my SG, and trust me, it looks so damn good.
Exactly. Nothing looks better than a full ankle
Actually.
proper shoe, proper motorcycling shoes. Actually, not only shoes. I don't understand. People sometimes they don't buy gears.
Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, you won't look anyway better on a motorcycle
Exactly.
than when you are wearing full geared, you have a tinted visor, a proper helmet. Nothing looks better.
Even for photo shoots, like sometimes when we do without riding jackets, there we do some photo shoots, right? So what we do, we try to wear the riding gear boots only.
Exactly.
Maybe we can get a t-shirt, and then we have gloves. So yeah, it looks good.
It actually looks so freaking cool.
Actually. So yeah, we were talking about the over the ankle boots. Now again, in that category there will be many kinds of boots. There will be a proper touring boots. Many brands have different touring boots in different budgets. There will be proper off-roading boots that you can use for trails, and there will be something like a sports, like something you can use on track, race track. And there's another category that I bought that was like you can use it a little bit on tracks also. You can
It's
also
dual purpose. It's multi.
yes, and the movement of the feet is kind of little bit more better.
Compromised.
Yes. So I think that's a good category if you have a sports bike, naked bike, or even an ADV 390 also, adventure motorcycle. That will do all kinds of jobs. So always, try to get a over the ankle if you need a proper riding boot. But if you just need it for, like rough rides, small rides, I think you can get shorter ones also. But I'll not recommend shorter ones. You're compromising safety over there. So again, talking about boots, how you take care of the boots is similar to riding jackets and riding gloves. So you'll have different leather products. If you have a leather boot, you can use a leather polish or something. You can preserve it. So yes, there's tons of things you can do. So yeah, always try to get a over the ankle riding boot. So it will be very safe for you, and it will look good also.
It will look good.
So now I think we have covered everything mostly. Now we are talking about additional gears that maybe we use but we don't count as proper, gears in motorcycling. So let's start with the basics. Your hearing. When you're touring on the highway, you might have faced that if you are riding for a very long time, your ear gets very buzzy and it leads to headache also. So for that, my favorite tip is using a earplugs. So in earplugs, you're reducing the external noises getting inside your head that creates that causes the headaches and all when you're touring on a highway tour. So one tip for that is uh, don't try to push that earplugs too deep inside your ear. So that will actually cause more harm than damage. Talking about additional gears, we talk about how you can save your hearing. Now let's talk about your eyes. So what do you carry when you're touring? Do you have an extra goggles or something?
Yeah, I actually have a extra pair of tinted glasses. So I have a very high power, so
Okay.
I do need to carry goggles with me, extra pair. So there's that, and I have also made sure that my sun visors stay clean and everything because eyes are important. You cannot compromise that.
Correct.
There has been a lot of times where suppose my visor was open and things flew in. Okay.
Okay.
Once I was in the trail, luckily I don't actually have those off-road goggles that people use, but I was using a friend's. So I was in Hyderabad doing a trail, and rock actually flew in from in front. And if I didn't have that goggle, it would have damaged my eyes totally. So if you don't have a goggle when you are at a condition that might harm you anywhere, it might be highways, it might be trails, it might be anywhere, at least keep your visor down.
I always. So, uh, protecting your eyes. Another tip I'll add is if you are on a tour, you're doing a tour, maybe you can keep an eye drop with you.
Yeah, that
So in
works.
case something goes in your eyes, you can actually, that will help. So let's talk about another part of the riding gears, that is base layers.
Base layers.
Now, what I do is I have got an like SPF reflective T-shirt, full T-shirt, full sleeve T-shirt from Decathlon.
Okay.
So I use that whenever I'm using a riding jacket. So it keeps me very ventilated, and
Ventilated and
it's kind of
comfortable.
cool. It's not that too thick material, so I think it does a decent amount of job. So base layers you should choose according to the weather, and also your the like where you're going. So there could be a cooler region you're going to. So keep multiple base layers. That will be very helpful. A full sleeve like a dry fit t-shirt will actually do a good job.
Dry fits are very good
Actually,
things to wear
for
while
everything.
riding. Yeah, be it workouts, be it anywhere.
Correct.
You can actually use it for a lot of things.
Right. So yeah, now the next part we'll talk about high visibility gears, like maybe a safety jacket. There will be some places where there's hardly any light. You might have to wear that strap, so you can use that. Or there are many lights available also these days. I will not
Be a
recommend
fan
that
of that
actually.
light. Yeah.
But I think something that is reflective, maybe on your backpack also, so that the other vehicle can see when they're putting the lights or anything. So yeah, I'll recommend keeping a safety, a reflective vest also with you, just in case. So that's everything we covered about riding gears.
Riding.
So let's talk about the small accessories that we can also get that counts as riding gears. I mean, for motorcycling, there are very small things like hydration bags, and there's tons of things. So let's start with why you should always keep a hydration bag with you.
So we usually don't drink water at our home, even if we are at our home.
Actually,
And when we are out on rides, it gets more problematic to
correct.
drink water. Remove your helmet,
There's
drink
a
water. You might procrastinate on it, and you won't understand at what moment your hydration falls low,
correct.
and you might, while going itself, you might have a heat stroke.
So it's very important that
It's
you
very
should
important.
get a hydration backpack and refill your water. So it also kinds of helps.
Maybe add some dehydration salts to it.
Correct.
And keep
And
having that.
right, right. And another thing we haven't spoken about is something that I'm wearing right now. Always keep 2 to 3 balaclavas with you. That also counts in your riding gears.
And if you have a hair like me, it's very important to protect your hair. It actually helps you.
And especially in Kolkata, like if you're going through Ma flyovers, I would recommend you to keep this little bit down because of the neck. There are a lot of incidents, like the Chinese manja cutting through slitting the throat of many riders. And I know 2 people who are very close to me. They have, got this into this accident recently. So we did actually complain to Kolkata police, but again, they are trying their best, but
How
people
can
are not.
you cannot control that.
Actually,
You cannot actually control
it's
that.
all about the people from the neighborhoods around. They have to understand and put a stop to this, because this can lead to a lot of deaths also.
And you cannot actually go ahead and change them. It will take time. So better protect yourself.
Correct. So I think we have covered everything, almost everything. There could be some few accessories. Maybe we can do more detailed videos on the small things that is important.
I'll
You
there's
have
something.
anything to add?
Yeah. What is your take on intercoms?
Oh, I forgot intercoms. Yeah. We are going to touch that topic again in the next podcast. It will be about electronics, electronic aids to your motorcycle rides and all. So it's not counting as riding gear, but actually it's aiding you.
It's aiding you. It's
Like
actually
if you're going with somebody and they also have it, you connect it, and he tells you that there's an obstacle. If he doesn't shows the signs, and if he just tells you that there's an obstacle, it is going to save your life, right?
exactly. And like electronic topics,
Yeah.
we have something coming up for you guys, which might also help you.
Correct,
in
correct.
your-
We will actually show you how to connect different intercoms, even if you have universal and something which doesn't connect to universal. We'll try and show you how it works, because we have a four-way connection and it works. So we are using it daily, whenever we are riding together. So it's a very good thing. It counts as riding gear also. But again, it will be a very vast topic. So I personally use it every day. So I think I can, if you can see here, uh, it connects to my phone, and yeah, I have to stop my bike when I have to make a call or something. So I think that's all about riding gears.
Yeah,
Accessories we can cover a vast
accessories.
topics.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can expect.
Correct.
There's
There will be touring accessories. There will be riding.
multiple things for multiple things.
Correct. So it will be a very vast
very
topic.
vast thing.
Correct. So yeah, let's sum it up. Uh, from helmets to boots. You know, even if you have the best helmets and if you don't wear it, there are
Yeah,
people who
it's
actually wear inferior helmets daily, and maybe once a week when they go out on a Sunday ride, they will wear their best helmet. But let me tell you, it's not that. It's all about all the gear all the time. So try to.
actually, yeah, I know a few people personally. So a friend was getting a bike. His friend suggested him that since you are just getting into bikes, don't buy a very expensive helmet right now. Buy something that's cheaper, wear that, and once you are comfortable, once you are going out on tours, going on rides, get a more expensive one. So I was
That's a
confused
very
at
wrong
that point.
approach.
I was confused at that point, and that guy is quite experienced in terms of covering kilometers. Okay, and I was very confused suggesting him that because if the guy is actually starting out, it's more important to him to get proper gears.
And yeah, I think that's the first thing. If you have a budget of 2 lakh, try to put at least 5%. I'm not saying even 10%. For me, it's 10%. For him also, he treats it 10% or
Yeah.
more. But I would suggest, okay, get a helmet at least 5% of your budget. So if you get a 2 lakh bike, maybe like 5,000 helmet will save your life somehow.
Or if you are not able to spend that much, get whatever you are able to. Don't compromise on that. Like you are not compromising on the bike, you are extending. You usually
Correct.
extend it as much as you can. Okay, you get on huge loan, so take a personal loan maybe and get.
Yeah, actually.
I don't know, but you should actually do that because there's no point in not saving yourself rather than accessorizing a bike.
Correct.
Doesn't make sense.
So I'll share my thing, my part. I got a used Hornet as my first motorcycle. I got it for 50,000. I kept 5,000 for name transfer and all, and with that money, I ended up buying the helmet because that was my priority. So I think that time Axis was around 4,000 something. I
And
got
Axis was imported at that point.
actually Axis was imported. I mean, I still have it. It still looks better than the empty. So yeah, that's the thing. You have to push yourself if you want to, save your head at least. And I have seen silly, suggestions from so-called experienced people who have covered more miles than you, who would just ask you, how many times you have to this that. Like for them, they think that the more kilometers they've covered, it's more experience. But again, they have no idea that about rev matching, this, that, and technical stuffs. So I've seen those kinds of people. They would suggest, yeah, Vega is good for every day, this, that, and then I have a 10,000 helmet for like.
I'll share an experience on
Correct.
this. So I was actually out with our Pixmax on a trip, and while we were returning, so I was using the Axor Apex. I had that, and I don't know how. Probably some bandits or someone. They slingshotted a huge rock.
That's a common practice in
That's a
outskirts.
very common practice. So the I was in the pillion at that point of time, and they probably targeted the rider. So they missed it, and it hit me over here. Okay, and it was huge. And when it did hit me, I lost my vision for almost a minute.
That's like if you
That
are
was
not
scary. That was
correct.
scary. It was almost 10 p.m. in the night, and I lost my vision, and I was not understanding like what is happening or what is not happening. So I couldn't see. So I put my hand, and I felt that this part had scratched,
Oh my
and the clip was broken, and the visor came out. Okay, so I asked him to stop a bit later, not to stop at that point of time. So when I got off, I saw that the whole side was scratched and everything. So Axor has its problems.
Yes, yes. But again, it's saving you,
It,
right?
it saved me. On the same hand, I had a old, that modular helmets. You can change them.
Modular is
So
decent.
yeah, I had that. So it was of Steelboard or Vega, I'm not
Mhm.
sure. So it just fell from my hand one day.
Yeah.
Okay. And that whole thing came apart. So
Right.
imagine I was actually wearing that on that day.
It would have been a different story.
It would have been a different story. I wouldn't
would
be
have-
sitting here
You would have
initiating
joined
this.
Motogasho as a victim.
Yeah. I would have been a, survivor.
How I survived.
Yeah, how I survived with probably a head surgery, something of
Something,
that
yeah.
sort.
So, anyways, yeah, there will be a lot of stories about it. And if you have a story to share, also, you can comment down. We will cover this in the next podcast also. That will talk about experiences. So, always invest at least 5 to 10% in riding gears of your bike. I mean, even if you don't have that expensive bike, try to keep this as a priority. At least
I
something.
started buying
Yeah.
gears when I had the CD down 100.
Yeah, so that's how your priority is.
I completed my whole set over a period of 1.5 years.
And it will still continue. You
It
will
will still continue. There's
correct.
always the next thing I can get, the better thing I can get.
Correct. So there will be. I'll always recommend you to get something, something better than nothing. At least you should wear, and not just
Always
that
use
you have
protection.
bought it and you have kept it. You'll also wear it. So if you have any other questions regarding riding gears, uh, I think we covered almost everything about how you can select it, how you can buy it, and always try and buy it. It's a good thing that you get discounts online, but I'll warn you about it that there will be some websites that will sell you older stock boots at a very cheaper price. So it's not recommended to buy a leather that is 2 years, 3 years old and it's in the shelf for a very long time. Same thing with helmets also. So try to visit a store, check your size, and if you're accurate about your size, when you're ordering from the website, ask them the uh, what is the date, shelf life of that product. After that, only try to order because there will be cases that you will get a very old, shelf kept helmet for maybe 50%, 60% of the price, and you think, okay, it's a very good deal.
Very good deal.
But you will end up getting the paints peeling off, or a lot of things will happen.
It will be a good deal for your health insurance.
And actually, and another thing, whatever you get on discount, if you read the terms and conditions, you will not get any our replacement.
Exactly.
They mention it clearly in the website. So if you get something for 3,000, 4,000, don't expect a replacement. Whatever you get is
It's
as
done.
it is.
So basically, stay away from stock clearance sales.
Actually, maybe like I think for mesh gloves it will be fine, but for leather gloves you have to recheck if it's a good new stock. So I think we have covered everything. Try to wear the riding gears whenever you were on a ride. Obviously, for small, short spins, you might be okay with the gloves, riding gloves, a decent helmet, and a good pair of boots, not Converse boots. So that's all. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to comment down, and we will be covering a lot of topics in future. We have a lot of busy schedule every Sunday. So yeah,
So it's 44 degrees, and we
actually,
are out here every Sunday bringing out things for you guys. So, the best you can do is subscribe us, share things to your friends, and help us grow more.
and yeah, if you have a story to tell also in the
Let us
form of
know.
podcast, let us know. We will plan something. We'll try to get you on the show. So that's all for today. I think we have covered riding gears, and if you have any other topics which you want us to cover, you can comment down as well. So that's all. If you have any message to share,
Just always use protection.
correct.
It's about motorcycling.
So
It's about motorcycling.
so yeah. So that's all for today, and we will see you again in the next episode.